Hello guys, this is me, Merxy here, and I'm from the likes of the Merxy Toys videos once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Pac-Man World 3 for the Nintendo GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox, PSP, and the worst version of the game, the Nintendo DS version, and possibly the PC version as well, even though it has been about quite a few days since I actually did manage to last touch this game. So, yeah, I believe last time we actually did manage to completely done with the forms of the second world in the game, which I think appears to be by the forms of Banmei Wasteland or something like that. Even though it has been, again, since 2 days ago since I actually last touched this game. So, either way though, yeah, today for this episode in particular is the fact that we are moving on to the next world in this game, which appears to be the Spectral Cliffs. So, yeah, there's not much else to say about this point for this particular world. It's just that we ended up in the forms of this spectral realm kind of type of world. Even though that I don't usually know about this game all that much though, compared to the other two, still. But regardless of such though, about the fact that I'm also able to try to go ahead and, well, trying to do for this video for you guys. And, hopefully, we're also able to actually collect some of the collectibles. Now, originally, when I said this earlier, ever since in both part 1 and 2, that I was originally going to be expecting to you guys about the fact that I was potentially trying to go for 100% completion of this game, of this playthrough. But I've decided to change my mind because, well, once again, I felt slightly sick today. But no one knows much, but I almost felt sick anyway. So as a result, that's, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm pretty darn concerned about the fact that this game does make me feel a bit sick, compared to the other two games, because in the first two games, I can cope with it no problem because of all this tight platforming as well as some good environments. I don't know, it's just probably just me anyway. But regardless of everything else though, I will just, be brave and also just trying to deal with it, unfortunately. But regardless of such though, I'm also able to still be alright. So, yeah, today's date is of course the 7th of July today, in this case in 2021. Some interesting happens during the course of the past few days, and it's a good time that I can able to finally mention about more stuff, thanks to the forms of other stuff is worth mentioning ever since during the course of the past few days. I suppose that Mega Man has not even mentioned about this, after all. That's something to do with the fact that, well, recently we actually got ourselves some brand new, trailers for certain games, and specifically some more films. Mainly due to the fact that, well, obviously that, let's get started with the films first. I do apologize with the forms about the fact that, well, if you couldn't tell already, for the sake of this upload, unfortunately though, I have to upload this quite late, mainly because of how the fact that I was being busy just trying to able to pack certain stuff of mine for, for the Dorset coming up this Friday. So because of this, yeah, this will be, the only one of those moments where basically that this will be uploaded for today, which is the 7th of July today, and there won't be any uploading schedules for, well, as far as what Mighty has already mentioned about in Mario Party 5, and because of that though, there won't be any uploads for this Friday and Saturday and Sunday, because I'm about to be having a Dorset holiday break. So, should be interesting all things considered, just because of how the fact there's a good thing I need some time break. Because after all that, although I still can't go on abroad, sadly, just because of what's going on around the world. And, hopefully, though, the weather should be alright. So, at least I'm assuming so anyway. So, yeah, let's get to the other stuff. First of all, I've went to see the new film, which appears to be Fast and Furious 9. It's about time to able to actually finally get back onto the cinema big screen, with all these intense noises and all that stuff. But, during that particular, watch through where it comes to the forms of Fast and Furious 9, it was alright. I mean, usually the stunts has always been, oh man, the stunts are, you know, quite effortlessly, epic and alright, and especially noticeable about the fact that, well, what I've noticed something is the fact that some familiar actors from Fast and Furious 5, 6, 7, and 8, you know, with the actual Dwayne, I can't remember what his surname was. I totally forgot about that because I know. Oh wait, Dwayne Johnson. That he usually plays a cop in during the course of Fast and Furious 5, 6, and 7, and 8. but I don't know what's the matter, what's going on for him, especially noticeable after the events of the 8th film, although my guess is the fact that he already got the film by himself or something like that, even though I haven't really watched the actual spin-off yet, but might be curious to see how that's going to represent, but not now though, just because there are some other films I would like to mention. Next of all is the mentioning of the My Little Pony film. In this case, it did reveal the title. Well, I think it did actually announce that ever since I think it's about a week ago, almost. And that is, the title of the name of the film is My Little Pony, A New Generation, which meaning it's going to be Generation 5 focused film. So because of this though, for what I've seen the actual trailer of the actual, although not so much the trailer yet, until at some point in the next few days, or something like that. And I do definitely know that it's coming to Netflix, which is probably true, due to this, what's going on around the world. And, basically, what they... Ah, drat, there's my first step of the playthrough. Although thankfully, the checkpoints do manage to spawn every time if you get into the certain spots, so that's usually a good thing. So, in fact, those particular little creatures are by far the most annoying enemies, because I keep thinking about the forms of, in Pac-Man World 2, they don't seem able to harm you, but in here, basically, they're just trying to harm you, and just managed able to bite your feet like nothing else. But I digress. But at least that's something is worth noting for. Anyway, they actually did reveal the video about the forms of the My Little Pony, A New Generation, for not only for able to actually reveal the release date of the film on Netflix, but also it's the fact that they actually bring us into some more movie footage or something like that, which I will say, it looks really dang good. Especially noticeable about the fact that, well, potentially speaking, that I'm so looking hyped about that. Even though, might be skeptical at first, but then whenever I've seen the video, I was really hyped about it. Especially noticeable I'm still a brony after all, and also about the fact that I'm very curious to see how the fact that what that's going to take place after the events of Friendship is Magic era has just managed to end it. So even then though, although for what I've noticed is the fact that I do recognize some of these badges representing the forms of the main 6 in the previous generation, in this case Generation 4. So yeah, I'm very hyped about that. And as far as I'm aware, the release date for the film is going to be releasing until September 24th, which is roughly 6 days before No Time to Die on the UK release of the James Bond film, and also a month before Mario Party Superstars. So yeah, it's a bit of a coincidence, huh, for able to actually release the film like that, and especially noticeable that it's about to due out during I won't classify for saying 17 days before my 24th birthday. So yeah, that should be exciting for my part, especially noticeable about the fact that, well, it has been a while since I actually managed to notice something like this, especially noticeable about the fact that it has been a long while since I wow. Okay, so they do have voices there. Because for whatever reason, it's the fact that my TV just managed able to get confused for a moment by realizing there won't be any voices on my TV, but it turns out it doesn't on the capture recording, thankfully. So maybe because I just keep on used to the forms of my TV, so in reality anyway, so anyway, yeah, because I know for the fact that it has been a long time since I actually did watch something related to My Little Pony stuff. Well, to be more specifically, I usually watch Friendship is Magic a lot more, just because of how exciting that is. And I'm very excited to see how Generation 5 holds up to be. Although potentially I just managed to skip over the entirety of, well, for the majority of Pony Life series, because as far as what I've seen, the IMDb reviews of the majority of the episodes of Pony Life, holy Christ, the reviews has been going significantly poorly in comparison to Friendship is Magic's superior product. But as far as I'm aware, just because of the art style doesn't look all that right. At least as far as I'm concerned with that stuff. Although, at least I'm very happy that the Generation 5, the art style will be a lot more amazing. So because of that though, yeah, I'm very excited about that. And what's exciting about this for me is the actual voice casts they revealed for the main 5. So in this case, first off we have is Vanessa Hudgens, which she's going to be voicing Sunny Star Scott. And, well, I think I've recognized that particular actor ever since in High School Musical, that she actually plays Gabriella from the likes of High School Musical 1, 2, and 3. So, despite how the film series is like, you know, very cheesy and stuff like that, but yeah, knows where it stands. What? Dude! The voice clips doesn't come out! Or maybe because of how the fact that I'm pretty much like... I have no words to say about it, because it's just... Okay, so this is definitely a prequel to Sonic Boom Rise of Lyrics still, but regardless of such though, that I have to able to try to deal with it, I suppose. But anyway... And another actor they did revealed is by the forms of, well, let's say Sophia Carson, where she's going to be voicing Pip Petals. And I do recognize her from the sake of the Descendants films. And I've heard about the forms of Descendants films, but I've never actually watched them since. Despite it's also cheesy as well, but I might give them a shot if I was going to able to recognize her a bit more, as far as the actual actor is concerned. And another actor they did revealed, and that is actually a very surprising one actually, because if you remember, for those of you guys who have actually seen, you know, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie back in 2020, and before when the Sonic movie sequel is going to be on its way, the surprising enough for me is that James what's his name again? I forgot. James Marsden, that he usually voiced Donut Lord, aka Tom Mikowski, from the likes of the Sonic film, and he's actually going to be voicing a pony, which is, well, I was shocked. I was so shocked when he was going to be able to be involved with this. And I'm sure enough he will be a cop again, but this time it's going to be Hitch Trailblazer. So because of that though, yeah, it's usually an Earth pony who is carrying sheriff at Maritime Bay. So because of that, yeah, I'm guessing that James Marsden is actually once again going to be a cop, but this time a pony vibe. And yeah, I was quite surprised about that, and I was really happy about that choice, because obviously he did pretty dang good as a Donut Lord, or Thomas Mikowski as an actor in Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Well, at least as far as I'm aware, because I think Paramount do really seem to enjoy that particular person as an actor. But anyway, enough about that. Next actor they did revealed is Chemical Glenn. And if I recall correctly, that she is used to be in one of the actors in Penny Parker, as in the forms of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Spoiler warning for those who have not seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I will say, that film is really, really awesome. Especially noticeable how amazing the art style is. Especially noticeable about the fact that that was rewarded as in the forms of the best animated film ever during 2018. So I can't even believe about the fact that it's been almost 3 years since that film came out. And also that the sequel will be on its way too. So yeah, that should be exciting. Anyway, enough about that. And she's going to be voicing acting is Izzy Moonbow. And well, she just she becomes more accurately the energetic unicorn who loves crafting. So now I'm presuming that that's one of the ponies that she managed able to use the mobile phone or something. And at least I'm guessing that correctly. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. And finally, the forms of Lace Koshi, which for what I've heard, that she become the most famous YouTuber. That she managed able to got herself 17 million subscribers, which, congrats to you by the way, in the forms of, well, in 2021, which is recently this year. And she's going to be voicing Zip Storm, which is the most, you know, the edgiest Pegasus pony out of them all. And there are some other actors who know as well, like for instance we have Elizabeth Parkins, that she's going to be voicing Violets, I think that's what the name of the character's name. And also we've got Jane Karowski, and she's going to be performing Queen Haven. I think that's what it's usually the name of the character, along with any other thing else as well, but I think that's as far as I can usually say when it comes to forms of, well, so certain voice actors on certain films like this. But anyway, before I get into more details about this though, as you can tell that we need to able to go ahead and obtain those little weird ring objects, which if you do somehow manage to able to activate that, well, I'm pretty dang sure about the fact that this is what you potentially you can have to progress. So at least I'm assuming that correctly. So yeah, another thing is worth noting for is the fact that recently I've managed to finally got myself my external hard drive for my PlayStation 4. The reason being is because I've almost run out of space for my PlayStation 4 at the moment. So I think it's about time for me to able to get some more storage, and because of that, since that, you know, Sonic Colors Ultimate for the PlayStation 4 should be on its way, along with Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, and especially notable with the new Sonic Project game on 2022. So at least I'm expecting to be excited with those specific titles. And even in some cases though, is the fact that, yeah, I'm very glad to have that. In fact, I actually got the 1TB version with the external hard drive. Originally, I was expecting to able to switch over the forms of the internal hard drive, but I really don't want to take any expertise risks. Although it might sound simple, but I'm really worried about the fact that if I mess it up for these screws, that means my PS4 will get corrupted. So, yeah, I don't want to able to actually risk it all that much though. I think I might actually use my external hard drive for, well, let's just say digital games only kind of stuff. So because of that, like for instance, for example, that I will able to actually get Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 again, but this time on digital format, so just in case I don't have to worry about, you know what I mean, just trying to able to actually able to conquer more space or something like that for the actual storage. And, well, at least I can still able to get those trophies again. But, aside from all that stuff though, another thing is worth mentioning about as well, even though despite the fact that I'm somehow talking kind of awkwardly today, because I said this earlier, is that I just felt a little bit sick. But, that's probably just me anyway, for able to play in this game. So, but, hopefully though, what the? Ah, dang it! That I hate the rev-roll in this game. Especially noticeable, you can't able to actually just, you know, stop in the mid-air, or in this case, stop in place and all that stuff though, unlike in Pac-Man World 2, because in Pac-Man World 2, you can able to actually just to cancel out the rev-roll movement while you're trying to go in mid-air and stuff, but I just have no idea why, I just went all over the place. But anyway, now we actually save our progression here, so I think we should be okay as this. So, yeah, anyway, and there's also another thing is worth noting for, is the fact that until tomorrow, that, unfortunately I can't mention about that right now, just because it is tomorrow, which is going to be the new PlayStation presentation, which is going to be once again State of Play. So it's been a while since we actually seen the State of Play direct presentations, since I think the last time we had one, it was in February or something. Mind you, because Sony did once again skipped over E3 for this year. So, yeah, this might be a perfect opportunity into whenever we see some more Sony announcements and all that stuff. So that should be exciting. Especially noticeable about the fact that God knows if we might be able to actually see something new for PlayStation 5 or anything else like that. So, yeah, that should be exciting. And, I suppose that's pretty much about it. And, speaking of those other announcements, is the fact that we actually got ourselves something new for Nintendo since yesterday. This what appears to be a brand new model for the Nintendo Switch. Now, if you guys are probably thinking, is it going to be the Switch Pro, and as well as supporting 4K and everything? Well, here's the thing. Basically, all it gets is basically, it's like a much more better version of the Nintendo Switch, meaning about the fact that it's still going to be running on 1080p on TV mode and 720p in handheld mode or tabletop mode, and the Joy-Cons remains the same, aside from the fact that it does manage to come with different colors this time around, which I'll point it out later. And also they did reveal there's going to be an additional port, which appears to be a LAN cable. So because of that though, that might be pretty useful, especially noticeable if you're struggling with playing games online, if there's too much lag going on, which is especially noticeable in some cases like Super Mario Maker 2 for example, and also say applies to Super Mario 3D World as well for online play, and same applies to Super Mario Party and even the upcoming Mario Party Superstars, and that's pretty much as far as I can think about it. But anyway, and also they did actually reveal there's going to be a some different design for the actual Switch unit itself, which I will say I'm actually kind of impressed with this model, which appears to be, as far as what I've noticed, the name of the actual system's name is the Nintendo Switch OLED LED model, which is basically, it's like a 7-inch screen version of the Nintendo Switch, and that's it. So, most people find this a bit disappointed, but because of such though, I honestly don't mind at all. Like, the fact of the matter is the fact that this, the screen size is actually a lot more bigger than he forms of how it does it on the original counterpart. So because of that, think of like the actual XL models for the 3DS, except, well, basically it doesn't have any like significant CPU upgrades or anything else like that, so it remains the same, so... And also is the fact that they did manage to include something that's a little bit better than the forms of how it does in the original model for the Nintendo Switch, and that is a much more better kickstand. Although this time it's going to be adjustable this time, so meaning you can able to actually place it from either way back or just sit up a bit for the actual tabletop mode setting, and I'm going to say I'm actually really impressed about that. I'm not exactly sure if I was going to get it until day one, just because, well, and also another thing, since I'm still pretty much stuck with the original Switch model, meaning about the fact that the battery life didn't last for very long, well, I was expecting if I was going to able to try to upgrade it, although I need to able to look up on the transfer system video, because otherwise, much like the 3DS, I can simply just able to do that for my spare time, so... Oh yeah, there's something worth noting for, is the fact that if you go onto these little hexagon platforms, as you can see, we actually come across into ourselves reappearing platforms, as you see. So because of that though, there might be some emphasis on the forms of likely. It almost kind of reminds me like a Mario platformer or a Mario Galaxy platformer or something like that. Although despite the fact that we're actually playing a pretty underwhelming game compared to this you know, underappreciated and a perfect game like Super Mario Galaxy or Super Mario Galaxy 2. But that's besides the point. And also another thing as well is that what I've noticed is that the actual release date of the new Nintendo Switch, or should I usually call it the Nintendo Switch OLED model, and I think the release date for that is going to be releasing alongside with Metroid Dread. So, potentially speaking, it was originally going to be able to be made along with the forms of Breath of the Wild 2, just like in the original game, but it turns out they did manage to able to actually get the OLED model of that particular Switch until it's the same day as, you know, Metroid Dread is about to be releasing on the 8th of October. So that means it's about 3 days before my birthday, so I would expect this much. So it might actually be a bit pricier compared to the forms of the regular Switch, which if I get enough cash for it, then I might as well try to get it. But, and also because of that, they now double up the storage now, which appears to be 64 gigabytes, then in forms of how it does it on the original models, they only got like 32 gigabytes, so that seems a little bit more storage than ever before, so especially noticeable if you really want to download certain eShop stuff, and especially noticeable if some DLC included. So yeah, that seems like a pretty cool model to able to actually have for those who have not owned the Switch yet. So, and in fact it does come with 2 packs, by the way, similar to the forms of how it does in the original model of the Switch, including the improved battery version of the Switch. And this time, rather than just having the grey Joy-Con controllers this time, it's usually now going to come with the white Joy-Con controllers, which it does look pretty cool though. And usually, much like the original model of the Switch, you're still able to get neon blue and neon red Joy-Cons pack with the forms of that particular black dock and all that stuff though. In fact, kind of think about it, the actual dock looks kind of nice though. Especially noticeable, it's almost like a different shape, all things considered. So, at the very least, I was pretty excited to see how that's going to represent him with, so... In fact, I have no idea why I just, you know, can't talk right now because I was going to be hearing the actual background noise I was going to be hearing on my game audio, but it does feel really dull when it comes to, like, quietness and all that stuff, which is still kind of awkward if you ask me, but that's how it is for me. So, and I suppose another thing I should probably explain about this too, that speaking of the forms of the Nintendo Switch OLED model, apparently there's actually a bit of a new footage of Mario Party Superstars, which I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting that footage came out of nowhere, and it shows us the forms of the footage of, let's just say, Bumper Ball's minigame, which I think is going to be based off of Mario Party 2. So yes, I think suffice to say is that the Bumper Balls from Mario Party 2 will make a comeback. Now I was really hoping they'll bring 3 variants of that particular minigame. Like, I think we see that briefly on the actual one of these gallery of minigames that we might actually see in Mario Party Superstars. And also to top it off is the fact that, well, we did see the footage of the grassy tropical setting. Oh no, sorry. The grass tropical setting with the addition of the forms of that particular hill bumps, you know, just like in the original Mario Party 2. And yeah, I'm really hoping they're able to bring 3 of those different variants of that particular minigame until when that game comes out. So yeah, that should be pretty surprising to notice. So yeah, and yeah, I was really hoping for that. So, and as far as I'm aware, for other things I would like to mention, actually, to be honest with you, there's not much else I can talk about, because I would explain quite a few stuff as it is. So either way though, because of how the fact that I was pretty dang excited when it comes to forms of other things in mind, especially noticeable about the fact that, oh, and another thing too, that Monsters at Work, the Disney Plus exclusive series, did recently came out today, along with the forms of the next episode of Loki and stuff like that. So yeah, that should be pretty swell. In fact, let me know in the comments below for the question of the day. Are you guys, or specifically for one of those brownies out there, are you excited when it comes to the forms of seeing My Little Pony and New Generation on Netflix? Because surely I am, because I'm expecting that the visuals look amazing, even with the lighting and everything. So, and then also another question of the day, what do you think about the forms of the new model that just recently announced for the sake of the Nintendo Switch, which appears to be the Nintendo Switch OLED model, which is of course the much more improvement version of the original Switch model with a much more better kickstand, as well as the forms of a much more bigger storage, and especially noticeable with the 7-inch screen. And aside from that, oh, and also another thing, a really good contrast this time around. So at least that's the only another good thing about it. So yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts about those specific announcements. Oh yeah, talking of which, when it comes to the forms of the State of Play announcement or anything else like that, when it comes to the forms of that particular presentation, unfortunately though, it will not show anything for the sake of, well, if I like to point things out, is the fact that it will not show up the some of the updates for new PlayStation VR hardware alongside with Horizon Forbidden West, or the next God of War game until God knows until in the future. So we may not heard anything about it for quite some time now. So yeah, we might try to able to get used to with that. So. Ah, dang it, Pinky got me right there. Oh, no. Oh, I always get cornered. Ah, dang it, I lost. By the exact same ghost too. And yeah, this is what happens right there. Much like in Pac-Man World 2, that you get kicked out and there's no way you can try again. So because of that, unlike in Pac-Man World 1, that you can basically try many times you want to, thanks to... Whoa! Jeez Louise, man. In fact, that was actually kind of a close call, because I've never actually fall off there. Well, thanks for the save anyway, so, yeah, I guess that pretty much summed up as such. Once again, it's still awkward at this point with the game audio. Although, you can hear it fine, but, unfortunately though, you can't really hear the actual character speaking, which, yeah, it kind of feels like a problematic, so I do apologize for that. So, anyway, I think that's as far as I can say when it comes to this discussion. So, either way though, that, I'm actually really looking forward to see how, some future days may actually go by. So, because of that, especially noticeable that I'm about to be having a holiday break for a little while, even though it's only for like 3 days or something, so we'll be back for more uploading schedules on this, on specifically on Monday. So because of that, because you know, I said this earlier, no uploading schedules on Friday because of, you know, holiday break. So, excuse me, I'm really sorry about that belchiness for this point, folks, I do apologize for that. But, I think this is where the end of the level is, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's what the end of the level is, but, yeah, I get the feeling I'm missing, one of those, 25th anniversary, Pac-Man statues somewhere, so, yeah, it's gonna be one of those, you know, non-100% completion runs, just like the forms of how it does it on Pac-Man World 1, and, of course, Pac-Man World 2. But, I do apologize for that, because I know for the fact that I almost felt a little bit sick, but, I'm feeling quite fine as it is, still. But as soon as we're done with this game, before we get into Donkey Kong Country 3, Donkey Kong Country 3 will be the ideal game for me, so...
End of the road. Scenic anyway. Now if only I could find a friendly ghost to tell me which way... Eureka! I guess. Help! Who?
I said, help me!
Pinky? What are you doing here?
Being chased? What are you waiting for? Pull me up before it gets here!
It? What it?
Me, it.
What's your deal?
You may refer to me as your worst nightmare.
Pac-Man, quick, pull me up!
Be right with you! You won't push me over the edge or anything if I help Pinky up, will you?
No, Scout's honor.
Don't trust him. He's small, evil, and wants to plug me into a giant energy-sucking machine.
Any truth to that, Mr. Nightmare?
If I said yes, would you hold it against me?
Nah. Look down.
Well played, my cunning yellow friend.
Less chit-chat, more pulling me up sometime today.
Don't worry, Pinky. I haven't lost a ghost yet. Hold on.
Let the games begin.
And yep, it looks like that's the end of the level right there. And sadly, I was in 4th place because I somehow messed it up on the actual Galaxian section, so... And also I didn't grab the rest of the collectibles, but that's okay by me, because, obviously I'm just, you know, kind of exhausted at the moment, especially how I just felt slightly ill again, but, anyway, I have no idea why I'm just feeling so ill like this, but, I'm still fine though. No, stupid virus, whatever that thing is, but either way though, it's just a little bit of a, well, I have no words to say. And I think that pretty much concludes Spectral Cliffs, so, nah, an alright world. I mean, I kinda just wish there was, like, any energetic moments like this, but that's just me.
Wow! Solid ground! I recognize that stuff. I'm guessing I'm miles away from where I actually have to be, right?
Frankly, you could do with the exercise, Pac-Man. You're starting to look even more spherical than usual.
Hey, Miss Pac-Man likes me cuddly, okay? So what's with the big tower?
The first spectral siphon is somewhere within that structure. Find it and shut it down.
And it looks like I'm gonna have to end things off here. So join me next time on Let's Play Pac-Man World 3. It's the fact that we are moving on to Gekekra Central, according to what is the name of this world anyway. So I'll see you guys on Monday. Later, fellas.